Hey guys, it's Sharika and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I would love to have you. So today is Monday and we are doing some Dungeness crabs here. For today's drink, I'm just doing a Prosecco. So we're gonna go ahead and say grace and get started. Amen. Hey y'all, happy Monday. Girl, I need this. I got my mayo and mustard dip back here. I know this is going to be so good because I haven't had Dungeness crabs in a minute. So, let me get my little thing together. Okay, so we do have a story time. Let me turn off my warmer. It's been on long enough, so the crab should be nice and hot. So we do have a story time today. The story time is from See No Evil. And I actually switched my story time up because my sister was here and we watched See No Evil this morning. And so I decided, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all this story because it was crazy. Okay, so if you guys watch See No Evil, I'm not too sure the channel that it comes on. I want to say the ID channel. I'm not too sure on the night that it comes on, but it's the episode The Boy in Blue. Okay, so y'all look that up, The Boy in Blue. And I did watch that episode on TV, so I don't have a link. So there was a little kid. He was 12 years old and his name was, I'll just call him Elijah. Oh gosh, I'm already making a mess. Where's my towel? So we'll just call him Elijah. So Elijah lived with both of his parents. He was a really good kid and he played football. He used to always tell his mom when he made it to the NFL, he was going to take care of his parents. So he wanted to start making his own money at 12, right? So he would cut grass in the neighborhood. He would walk around the neighborhood. If he saw that your grass was high, he would knock on your door and ask if he can cut your grass. And that's how he made his money. So he had told his parents one day, he was like, you know, he saved up enough money to buy some new football cleats. And he wanted to know if his mom would take him to Walmart the next day. So the dad said, well, mom got to drop me off to work. So she was like, we could just drop you off at the bus station, right? So they agreed to it. Everything was cool. The next day, daddy gets ready for work, mama gets ready for work, and Elijah ready to get dropped off at the bus station to go to Walmart. So they drop him off at the bus stop at the 7-Eleven. They kiss him goodbye, tell him they love him, and they'll see him, you know, before curfew. He's supposed to be home at a certain time, and his dad was cooking his favorite meal, so he's never late for that, right? So hours passed, no Elijah. So they texting his phone, calling his phone. He didn't answer the phone. So they were starting to get worried because Elijah just don't do that. They started texting his friends. Nobody's seeing Elijah. So Now it's getting dark. So the mom said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and look for him. I'm gonna make sure that I drive the route that the bus takes to see if he walking somewhere or whatever. She took a picture with her. The dad said he'll stay home just in case Elijah shows up. So what does the mom do? The mom goes to the 7-Eleven. When she pull up to the 7-Eleven, there's a crime scene, right? So I'm gonna take y'all back, just like they did me. 911 call comes in. It's an older lady screaming at the top of her lungs in an apartment complex, saying that she heard gunshots. So the operator said, well, do you need a paramedic? Do you need the police? She said, send them all. They got to the location. There's a body on the ground where it's been a shooting. A few minutes later, another call comes in from the 7-Eleven. A guy said, there's been a shooting. I hear gunshots in front of my store. The police go there. There's what they think an older teenage boy with a blue jacket, and he didn't make it. They tried to give him CPR, do everything they needed to do, but he didn't make it. He died on the scene. Okay. So, back to the mom. The mom pulls up at the 7-Eleven and she noticed that it was a crime scene. Now she's trying to keep herself together, but she's still gonna approach the detectives because her son hasn't came home. So the detectives walked up to her and she told the lady, she said, I have a 12-year-old son and he gets off the bus here and we don't know where he is. He's not home. He should be home by now and he's not home. Can you just take this picture that I have of him and just let me know? The lady, the detective, takes the picture, gives it to the other detective, and was able to tell her and was able to identify the kid that they thought was an older teenager as 12-year-old Elijah. So now they have to try to figure out what was going on with this 12-year-old kid that someone would want to do this to him. So the mom goes back to the house. The detectives are with her. And of course, she got to break the bad news to the father. I was in tears by this time, y'all. Like, it was bad. Because y'all know I got a 12-year-old son, so it was bad. So, you know, they have to ask the questions, you know, was your son involved in any type of gangs? Is he, you know, a troubled kid, whatever? And they're like, no, like my son was 12 years old. He didn't have any enemies. He was a good kid. He played football for the school. Like, he was a good kid. He went to go buy football cleats and that was it. So, you know, they're like, okay, they're going to try to do everything that they can to solve this case. So they didn't find any shell casings at the scene, but there was a bullet in a wooden pole that was next to the store. So they were able to collect that evidence. So they go back to the apartment complex where they found the first body. They were able to rush that guy to the hospital. And it was people out there around the crime scene, but nobody was willing to talk. But some of the people were saying that it was gang related, right? But nobody was willing to talk. Everybody just walked off once the detectives and stuff came out. So there was a video camera out there. The footage was very grainy. So the detectives still took the footage that they had to see if, you know, some of his guys can clean up the footage a little bit so they can kind of get something, because they had nothing at this point. But they felt like the two shootings was connected because they were right down the street from each other. So they go back to the 7-Eleven. There was a witness in there. She said she was at the stoplight. There was a black Cadillac sedan pulled up behind her, jumped out of the car, and shot the little boy with the blue jacket. Got back in the car and drove off. But she wasn't able to get the license plate. Now, she described them the best she could. She just said that, you know, it was a black guy, medium build. He kind of looked like the rapper Scarface is what she said. And he really did. So they had to put all the evidence that they had on the news because, you know, they had hit a brick wall basically. So once they put the footage out on, once they put everything on the news, there's a Bank of America across the street. They also have security cameras. So the security guard taken upon himself to look at some of the footage on the day that that happened. Sure enough, he sees a black sedan pull up behind the Bank of America building. The guy jumps out, runs into the woods, and then runs back to the car. He calls the detectives. The detectives come, watch the video, and you know they're gonna break that thing all the way down. So they seen, you know, the boy run into the bushes, come back to his car, and they did notice some movement in the car, so somebody else was there. When he first pulled into the parking lot, there was a car following them, but the other car just turned around and left. The dude had on a hoodie, so you couldn't see his face, and they couldn't pick up the license plate, but it was the same black sedan that the lady said pulled up behind her and got out the car and shot the little boy. So they go to the same spot to see what he dropped off while he was running in these bushes, what was the reason. So they went over there in the area and they found 3 handguns. So now they got the guns. When they walked in the parking lot, they noticed that the car had an oil spill. So they looked up like an accident with a black sedan recently. And come to find out, this same car was involved in a hit and run. So the lady that we saw in the footage, she was the victim of the hit and run. That black sedan hit her, took off running. She followed him in the back of the Bank of America, get his tag number, and then she drives off because there's 2 dudes in the car and she ain't want no trouble. So now they got the tag number. And the car is registered in a woman's name. So I'll just call her Sasha Walker, because the last name was Walker, but I can't remember her first name. So, Sasha Walker. So then they get a hit saying, you need to get in contact with somebody by the name of C-Dog. They put C-Dog in their system and it pulls up Curtis Walker, which is Sasha Walker's husband, right? They be breaking that thing all the way down. So they called them in there. Of course, they did the interview with them in separate rooms. The footage came back from the apartment complex. They see C-Dog and a whole bunch of other guys fighting. And then they see where the one dude got shot. But then they kind of like back up out of the frame because they started fighting and all kind of crazy stuff like that. So the dude from the apartments, he didn't make it. So now they talking to C-Dog. And they asking him, you know, what was your involvement? We have you on tape, this, that, and the third. So he said, well, basically, you know, they're in a gang. And he was just trying to be the peacemaker of it all, which the footage does support that he was trying to break the fight up. And then it just went left. But then they see the black sedan take off. So he showed him all the footage that he had. And he asked him, who is this other guy with you? So we'll just call the other guy Snoop. So he was saying, that's Snoop. They went to Snoop's mom's house. Snoop mom called him. He's still using the same cell phone. They using the pings to locate him. And they bring his behind in. He didn't hesitate. He told them everything that they needed to know because his mom had done cussed him out. He was like a Spanish dude. His mom had done cussed him out so bad. So he was like, you know, it's on his conscience. Just, you know, whatever y'all want to know, I'm going to tell y'all what y'all want to know. So he basically said that the dude was trying to, his homeboy was trying to break up the fight. But he was the one got in the black sedan. Snoop got in the car with his homeboy's wife. So it wasn't Curtis, C-Dog, that was in the car with his wife. It was the homeboy in the car with the wife. And C-Dog was the one in the black sedan that hit the lady. And also the lady saw him get out the car and shoot the dude. So it was C-Dog the whole time that shot this little boy for no reason. And the only reason why he shot him was because the little boy was wearing a blue jacket, which was the other clique. And he thought he was a part of the clique. So he shoots this 12-year-old little boy for nothing. Girl. It was a mess. So, of course, the evidence support everything. He went ahead and admitted it. They arrested him. Snoop, for his statement, he didn't get charged. The wife, she didn't get charged. But C-Dog ended up getting 50 years. Yes. Crazy. Okay guys, so I hope you're done eating if you're eating with me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at I am Sharika B. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye y'all.